Fair use is a doctrine in the law of the United States that permits limited use of copyright material without having to first acquire permission from the copyright holder. Fair use is the limitations to copyright intended to balance the interests of copyright holders with the public interest in the wider distribution and use of creative works by allowing certain limited uses that might otherwise be considered infringement. Examples of fair use in the United States copyright law include commentary, search engines, criticism, parody, news reporting, research, and scholarship. Fair use provides for the legal unlicensed citation or incorporation of a copyrighted material in another author's work under a four-factor test.
All right, everybody, welcome to SkepTalk Live, episode number 101, where tonight we shall discuss why our thumbnail has a person in it who's not on the show. We've got quite a few other things to discuss too, but tonight was going to be Experience Over Zero and Wes, but Wes had some family things he had to take care of, so tonight, filling in for Wes is Tim. Tim, how you doing, my man?
Hanging in there.
Yeah.
This.
Thank you very much for being willing to cover at the last moment. It's always
Indeed, sir.
much more fun with three voices. I'm sure that EXP and I probably could have, entertained some stuff, but it might have gotten a little too racy. Like,
I'm so great.
It's just more fun with me, period.
And Experience Over Zero, how are you doing?
Doing good. Up until I started playing video games, just eating ass. Like 2019 dating.
Wow.
Did you get to see the t-shirt yet since the last time you were here?
I did. It's a nice t-shirt. I can't wait to see it live.
You're right.
Especially the one with my face on it.
Right. I showed that one. I don't have the slide for that one this time, but I showed that one off last episode. So I'll make sure you get to see the one with your face on it. It's fucking really good. So for those of you,
shit out of that.
Those of you who'd like to check out Experience Over Zero's channel, there's a link in the chat right now. You can go and throw a follow over there. Go see some cool cosplay and video games and things like that. It'll be good. There's almost always drinking too, so I mean,
just calling me out,
right? And
just remember, you're not an alcoholic. Alcoholics go to meetings.
Right.
Pretty sure I am, but
right. If you get in good with,
I'm not shy of it.
Right. If you get in really good with Experience Over Zero, you might be able to make it into the meme stream, and that is where you need to be. So, yeah.
I have hotkeys. I have, 30-something hotkeys of memes?
Exactly. And you'll never see the same one, except for when you see it again. Yeah, exactly.
Especially when I die.
Ladies and gentlemen,
a limited resource,
we got him.
Got him. Hit that button.
All right, everybody. Remember, we take donations, we take subs. None of it is required, but if you'd like to help out the stream without any monetary requirement here, you can click this link that is about to appear in the chat, which will let you formulate a tweet automatically on your Twitter to twat it to all your twits, and maybe somebody will end up coming and watching the show with us, and that's always good to go. Spartan117MC, thank you for joining, and Witless Wonder, thank you for joining. Let's see, we've got another couple of things here. The breaking news stream is still on. This is going to be February 12th at 7 p.m. If you are in the area or can make it to the area, I would love to have you on, and we will break some stuff. And you just hit me up about it beforehand, and I'll tell you how it all works and how much it's going to cost you, because, yeah, I mean, it does. There is a ticket fee to get into the door. It's honestly not that much.
Consider yourself hit up.
Magras just says, when's breaking news just logged on?
February 12th.
February 12th. And that'll be all set up and everybody can come down. Margaret, if you're bored tonight and you got 2 hours, I got another space. We can totally handle that too. So
Get your ass in here.
oh, I just realized that my platinum symbol's not on this layout. So I apologize to all my platinum friends.
How dare.
Right. But I'll fix that soon. This layout doesn't have it. We do have a thing here. This is the new t-shirt.
Yeah.
This one is the publicly available shirt that can be purchased. We have another version of this that is only for Tim because he won the Florida Man competition.
Shouldn't have helped you.
You had an unfair advantage.
Right?
I did. I had a really unfair one.
Margaret says, "Boo, Tim sucks."
I told you guys I was gonna win it. I didn't know what it was. But I was gonna win it, and I did. I can deal with your envy, for it is petty and small.
Right? But yeah, I mean, like, it sucks to be the champion because everybody, they just got to punch.
Everyone wants up on this pedestal is what they want.
Right? You always punch. You always punch up,
pedestal.
right?
It has my face on it.
Yeah.
The Let's Assume show is still in the works. I still have a bunch of things ready for it, but not only did I lose my wizard, but the psychic seems to be backing out too. And I see why they think that I'm trying to trap them, but I just have to get a couple of these under my belt showing that I'm not trapping anybody, and it'll go off from there, I'm sure. So
Maybe I should just be an official wizard for 2 days so you can interview me and then I can go back to being awesome.
Right?
I really do want to go get my license to be ordained.
Oh shit!
Become a pastor. Oh shit!
Oh wow! It's using It's using the other.
Yeah.
Chada, thank you very much for 13 months. And as Chada and I had discussed before, that's like 1 true year from the day you pressed the button.
Son.
Yeah, it's like 13. That's 1 true year from the moment you first pressed the subscribe button, right? That's fantastic.
Like how that popped up right when I'm talking about getting ordained.
Right? It's kind of weird. I made 2 different overlays, and I don't know why it's using a different overlay. But tonight, I guess we are not going to have our standard Stream Elements alerts. We're going to be having the show, the Thursday shows stuff. And speaking of the Thursday show,
nice segue,
right? We are going to be doing another episode of the yet to be named history podcast that we did on last Thursday. This time it is going to be the Australian Emu War.
Can't miss that.
Yeah, it's going to be stupidly funny. It'll be at 9 p.m., 11 Eastern, and it goes for about 2 hours. And it's pretty fancy. We've got everything set up just to let everybody see what's going on. We do it out of this studio instead of our standard studio where it's very fancy. So, yeah.
Ooh.
And yes, there was enough Emu Wars to fill the slides, I believe. I'm still working on the content, but at this point, it's going to be the Emu Wars. I might announce if there's going to be a second piece of information that we're going to be covering. But
I like the little helmet on the guy.
Right?
Going to war, bro.
I had to prove
Just noticed that.
The emus, they're the ones going to war, right? So, all right. With that, are you guys ready?
I have prepared myself.
Excellent. It's time for news. We did it. We got through the news section. Let's move on to something else. No, I'm just joking.
Success.
I was hoping that Wes would be here for this one because I actually don't know about Experience Over Zero's sports preferences. But so this first story, this first story is about sports ball. Referees who officiated the New Orleans Saints versus the Los Angeles Rams NFC Championship game are facing criticism due to a blown pass interference call that gift-wrapped the Rams' victory and a trip to the Super Bowl. But despite the blame, a Louisiana eye care business has said that they are now willing to lend a helping hand to the referees and have offered every one of the referees a free eye exam.
I take that. Those are expensive.
Right? Exactly. Louisiana Family Eye Care is offering free eye exams to NFL refs before the start of the 2019-2020 season. After having time to consider things, we will gladly provide no-cost eye exams to any NFL officials prior to the next season to prevent the atrocity that occurred tonight. We would hate for someone to feel our pain, is what they posted on their Facebook page. I can feel the heat from that burn from here, right?
Gotta give yourself some ointment.
The thrilling 26-23 overtime game took a backseat to an obvious gaffe by referees who failed to penalize the Rams cornerback nickel Robbie Coleman, who blatantly interfered and made a helmet-to-helmet contact with the Saints wide receiver Tommy Lee Lewis in the 1 minute 45 in the fourth quarter. I don't know any of these words. None of that made sense. So what the fuck is the point of having a problem with helmet-to-helmet contact? I thought this was fucking football. Like, isn't that what the helmet's for? To prevent helmets from contacting helmets?
Those helmets don't work too well.
Right?
You see what happens years later.
So had the call been properly made, the Saints would have received a new set of downs, ran 3 plays, and kicked a game-winning field goal that would have punched their ticket to the Atlanta for the Super Bowl. That's a lot of assumptions I'm seeing. It sounds like this article was written by somebody who was in important or looking for one side to do something, but instead, the Rams advanced to the championship game, and following the controversial loss, Twitter has erupted with crazy nonsense. But I figured that Wes would have literally the only reason I chose to put this one in here is because Wes was going to be here. So
yeah, he would have waxed eloquent.
Yes, he would have had some things to say. But at this point,
sports ball.
We are currently a group of wallabies attempting to talk about politics. So, like. I mean, I don't know about you. Do you watch football at all? Experience Over Zero?
Here and there, but I'm more of a soccer fan.
Right. The true
I was
football.
Actually in Sorrento, Italy, in what was it, 07, 08? When they won the semifinals to the FIFA Cup.
Gotcha.
That was pretty nuts. They also won the FIFA Cup when I was in the London airport, and everyone started screaming, and it was terrifying.
Right.
So I had no idea what was going on. Everyone in the airport is just screaming. Not until when the clapping started did I know I wasn't going to die.
Okay. Bazinga says foosball is the devil, and I agree. He's the devil. But
devil.
This next story, this one's more up our alley. I'm pretty sure. So, are you guys from?
Girl.
Are either of you guys familiar with Cyril Sneer?
Cyril Sneer,
right?
Looks really familiar.
It's a pink aardvark from the 80s Canadian children cartoon The Raccoons. I've seen it in memes and stuff before, and I've seen like old clips of this. But the only thing you got,
yeah, this gangster dude,
right? You just got all you need. What? Go ahead.
It's a nice cravat he's got there to go along with his gangster cigar.
Right?
It's got a gold too.
All you need to know is what this guy looks like. So a prisoner a prisoner's drunken X-rated impersonation of a childhood cartoon character, Civil Sneer, led to drug possession charges after his lively jig revealed drugs that were tucked away in his rectum.
Nice.
Police arrested.
He did so hard that he shit drugs.
I mean, it's close. It's close. Troy Kenneth was arrested. Troy Kenneth Campbell in the middle of Charlottetown's University Avenue while dancing with a beer in one hand and a cheeseburger in the other. He was taken to the provincial He was taken to the Provincial Correctional Center for Public Intoxication. As the guards readied him for time to be spent in a dry cell, which are used for prisoners suspected of having ingested illegal materials, Campbell asked guards if they had ever seen the cartoon character Cyril Sneer, the pink aardvark with a lengthy snout. When he tucked his penis between his legs, bent over, and jumped up and down, apparently pretending to be the evil industrialist. During his performance,
This is a badass,
right? Squidpoke just asked, "How hard are you dancing for your rectum to show?" And Bazinga says, "An impersonation involved revealing the rectum. Good to know." Yeah, exactly. So he tucked it backwards, and it's kind of like, what was that? The goat or all the things from yeah. So during the performance, the guard spotted a piece of plastic protruding from his rear end. Perhaps sensing the guard's suspicions, Campbell allegedly pulled the bag out and threw it across the cell. The bag contained 4 hits of the narcotic hydromorphone used to ease severe pain. And the Charlottetown court on Monday, Campbell pleaded to possession of the drug and was fined $700. He also must pay a $105 victim of crime surcharge. So he got that for I'm thinking it's supposed to be something that for the sexual assault on the police officers.
Right.
Yeah. But
throw that back out.
Now everyone knows, right? Now everyone knows if someone says, "Have you ever seen a Civil Sneer?" Just walk away. It's done. You don't need any of that.
No, I'm gonna say go for it. Go for it, man.
Either that or just say every time I see him, I kick him right in the nose.
Exactly. Margaret says, "Hell the fuck no, who's Cyril? You weren't listening. I explained it 3 times."
No, he's pointing out that's what he's going to yell back to the person.
Okay, gotcha. Squidpoke says that poo-covered condom was here when I got here, right?
Yeah, basically, Margaret wants to see some dicks.
Right.
They planted it on me.
All right. We go from a rather funny story to a really fucked up one. This one might actually require a bit of a trigger warning based on the content of the events. So,
Triggers.
Yeah.
That's not a trigger. That's an outlet.
Correct. So, a mix-up left a Brooklyn woman grieving for 9 days at the bedside of a brain-damaged man who was reportedly her brother. But only after she gave consent 9 days after the man had remained in intensive care in a vegetative state, and she gave consent to have her brother taken off of life support. Was it revealed that her brother was actually in jail, and this was a stranger?
Yeah.
Yep.
You don't know who your brother is?
So
episode of Dr. House, right there.
Right? So there's a little bit to an explanation around that, right? She was quoted with saying, "I nearly fainted because I killed somebody that I didn't even know. I gave consent to kill that man," Powell, 48 of Crown Heights, said. I was like, where is my brother? What's going on? I was devastated. The saga began on July 15th, when Freddie Clarence Williams was admitted to the Bronx hospital, unconscious from an apparent drug overdose, according to the lawsuit. Williams had his social security card on him and identified him by name, the court papers say, but the hospital phoned Powell anyway. Completely different person. Telling her that her brother, Frederick Williams, which is a different person. So there's Freddie Clarence William and Frederick Williams. So they both have the same last name. But they had the social security card of the real person. But they called the wrong person anyway. Who is also 40 but has no middle name, was admitted and near death. She rushed to the man's bedside. He had tubes in his mouth and a neck brace, and he was swollen, but resembled her brother closely. He couldn't speak from the time that they brought him into the hospital. They just assumed it was her brother. 2 days after 2 days of tests, Barnabas doctors told her that her brother was brain dead. So she thought that's my baby brother. It was really hurtful. I was worried, hurt, crying, screaming, calling everybody. It was feeling terrible. And with no cause for her to have hope for recovery, she contacted relatives down south, telling them that they would need to come and say their goodbyes. Powell acknowledged that the first time that her sister saw the ailing man in the hospital, she questioned whether or not it was her brother. She walked up into the room and said, "That's not my brother." And then they said, "What do you mean?" And she said that her brother, this man, was much bigger than her brother. But because he was swollen and the eyebrows, the nose, and the structure looked like the brother, she then said, "Oh, okay, I guess that is my brother." But that's when she made all of these decisions. She sat with this guy for 9 days and then just pulled the plug. Not only is that a lawsuit from the woman who was fooled here, but I'm gonna assume
From the family.
yeah, the family of the victim in this case, right?
Yeah, I gotta wonder how many people just got fired.
Oh yeah.
I mean, one definitely.
Yeah, whoever had that telephone, right? Like,
Like,
or whoever told them.
maybe
right?
not the one with the telephone, but the person who was like, "Hey, I have the social security card. It's this guy. Call that other guy."
Right. Yeah, whoever made that
Well,
mistake made a drastic mistake.
I can kind of sort of understand that, considering the names are the same with the exception of the middle name.
Right. Well,
My whole thing is they had the social.
right.
Like, you got someone social, you got fucking everything. You can have whatever the hell you want with someone's social security.
Right. Llama Boosh, welcome to the show. Llama Boosh says, "Oof." Squid Punk says that's a lawsuit.
Oof.
Bazinga says fired seems like an easy way out of this one. And Squid Punk, go ahead.
I have a thing for Llama. My friend was watching when we were on with Llama, and she was watching with her senile grandfather. And every time Llama was saying something, he was like, "What the hell is this cat saying?" And she's like, "No, she's a llama." He was like, "I don't believe that's real. The hell is a llama?" And like just declared llamas did not exist. It was a fake animal. And when she left, he was upset the cat woman was gone.
That's
So
fantastic.
just thought you need to know that. He was very upset with you leaving early.
Oh, man.
Still does not believe llamas
I'd like
are
to
a real
point out-
thing, by the way.
She did not leave early. She left on time. We
What?
all just stayed late.
Right.
Not to him.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. It was.
Yeah, sorry, it was just-
everyone else.
Well, I mean,
Oh, man.
it was a
Some backstory there.
fantastic way to lighten up the mood after this awful story.
Yes.
Speaking of, either of you ever been the victim of a mix-up?
Yes.
What do you got?
So when I had my faux hawk and was pretty big in the pirate scene, there's a group called Ace of Ruin. You might know them, Ichi and Briggs and them down there. So I'd walk into their encampment, and every once in a while they'd turn around and be like, "Hey, Captain, get out of here! You're not him." But one time I had to serve a royal dinner, which happened to be right next to their encampment. And I had to serve wine and dishes and all this other stuff to them and hope they wouldn't eat all of the delicious stuff so I could have someone taking it to the kitchen.
Right.
As peasant do. But I was really tired of that at the end. Once we served the pie for the end, they were like, all right, guys, like, we're going to make up some extra food and stuff like that for you guys. So I went over there. I was like, give me all of Daberlack. Like, give me his coat, give me his hat, and all you guys were going to go crash the royal dinner next door. So there's like 6, 7 of us coming over. They're the band, like the drama kids that became pirates. So they're really theatrical. So we walk in there, half of them start like taking silverware, like drinking the glasses of wine that are left over. I go over and like scoop out one of the pieces of pie, right, and start eating it. And they're like, get out of here. Like, we get rushed out. He gets a phone call the very next morning. The guy's just livid at him coming into his, ruining the end of his dinner.
Right.
I don't hear anything about this until I think it was like Tuesday. He messages me and he's like, hey, I heard you pretended to be me at an event. And I was like, yeah, I did. He's like, you got me in a lot of trouble. Do it again. So that's my mix-up story.
Excellent. How about Tim? Tim, have you ever been the victim of a mix-up?
Visually, a couple of times with my brother Will, but vocally, many times with my brother Will. It was actually a lot of fun. When we were younger, we sounded exactly the same on the phone, almost exactly. To the point where somebody called his house at one point, and I picked up the phone and said, "Hey, Will, how's it going?" I'm like, "This isn't Will. This is his younger brother." "Yeah, shut up, Will. That's funny." "No, like, really, this is his younger brother." Will, pick up the other phone, and this is back when landlines were a thing. So he picked up the other landline and said, "Yeah, that's my younger brother." And the guy still thought that it was Will acting as 2 separate people on the phone. And wouldn't believe us until we both spoke at the same time.
Excellent.
So I had a lot of fun with this so when Will still lived at home, every now and then his friends would call the house and I would just pretend to be him. Like the prime example, the one that comes immediately to mind, is he was taking a shower at one point, and his friend, who he was going on a date with that night,
oh no,
called, and I proceeded to set up the date, where they were going, who was going with them, and the general itinerary for the evening while Will was in the shower as Will. So then he got out of the shower. "By the way, Val's gonna come and pick you up in about 45 minutes. You're going here, here, here. You're supposed to bring this, and these people are coming."
That's the hookup right there.
And like, he was totally cool with it because I'm not a complete asshat, and did things that I knew that he would want to do. But he talked with Val the next day at school, and she had no idea. No idea it was me.
It's like, by the way, that was my little brother you talked to.
Right?
No, it wasn't. Yeah, you're right.
I was fired from a place I didn't even work.
No, right?
Nice.
I've done
Where?
So downtown in the area where I'm at, I mean, I used to do stuff where I would just walk around, and if a door was open, I'd go through it. And
I do that all the time.
Oh yeah, and you just act like you're supposed to be there, until you find a place where no one's supposed to be. And that is how I got fired. I got fired from some like marketing company on the 3rd floor of this one building, and I was wandering around, and nobody was supposed to be in this back storage room because people got in trouble for whatever it was that somebody did in that back storage room. And I got caught, and I was told I needed to go to meet with some people or whatever. And this HR person's just all like, who is this? Why aren't they there? And I was told, like, listen, it's gonna sound really, really bad, but I'm just really fucking lost, which is the way that I got out of almost everything. Like, I was just all like, I know it sounds really bad, but as you can see, I don't have anything on me. I didn't take anything. I just got really, really lost. And I would just tell them, I was looking for the building next door or whatever. And they were like, oh, okay, well, good thing you're not an employee here, because I was about to fire you, right? And I was all like, can I consider myself fired? And they were all like, sure, get out of here.
Sure, get out.
But yeah, it was a bit of a mix-up. I got hired all of a sudden so that they could fire me.
Awesome.
All right.
You should have argued it. So you could have got the job.
Right? Just been all like, listen,
no,
I really need this job. I got kids, man. Like, Witless Wonder says,
Don't do this to me.
I have the same problem as Tim with my brother, to the point where my parents can't tell us apart, and it's caused some confusing phone calls with my parents. Excellent. That, and when I was really young, I once misdialed my parents' number, and I talked to a man who sounded exactly like my dad. Like, exactly like my dad. And I asked him if I could stay the night at my buddy's house. And then my parents showed up and were super concerned on why I hadn't called or come home yet. And I was like, I talked to you. I asked you blatantly. And yeah, like, no.
Awesome.
Yeah. Totally was somebody else that I called. I don't know. I mean,
if some kid called my phone asking to stay over somewhere, I'd probably roll with it too.
Right?
Like,
you just let that kid stay
thanks
wherever
for calling
he
me.
you
You
right?
know?
No,
Yeah.
you get your ass home right now. I am so angry. And just wait for him to walk through the door. Hey, why are you home?
Right? Witless Wonder says, I also know someone who once got arrested because he had the same first and last name as a wanted convict. Yep. That happens quite a bit. And then the wanted convict fit his description exactly, except the guy was 40 and he wanted the wanted person was 25. And good for them. They got out of it. All right. Our next story.
Apparently, he's a real good-looking 40-year-old if he's going to be...
Yeah.
Our next story sounds like something that would come out of the Ace of Ruin camp.
Yeah.
Oh no.
A 50-year-old Connecticut woman was arrested on Wednesday for driving under the influence of vanilla extract. So,
Is that a thing? Can you do that?
yes. The police
Learning on SkepTalk.
Exactly.
The more you know. Don't try this at home, kids.
Police were called at 4:45 p.m. after a person reported a car that had stopped on New Canaan intersection with the driver sitting behind the wheel and her eyes closed. Advertisement, or wait, nope, that's just the word advertisement in the wrong spot. Yeah. Police identified the driver as Stephanie Warner Grise, and upon speaking with Warner Grise, officers detected the odor of vanilla coming from her breath. Her speech was slurred, and she was unable to answer basic questions, according to the arrest report. In addition, several bottles of pure vanilla extract were located inside the vehicle. After she failed a sobriety test, she was taken into custody, where she refused to take a blood alcohol test and was held on a $250 bond. According to the Food and Drug Administration, pure vanilla extract must contain 35% alcohol, which makes it 70 proof. And according to medicdaily.com, in most cases, the alcohol in vanilla is burned away in the cooking process. But when ingested directly, the effects are similar to drinking hard liquor. It is said that a person weighing around 154 pounds who drinks a single 12-ounce bottle of extract would have a peak blood alcohol level 3 times the legal driving limit. McCormick's...
Still 12 ounces. Whew.
Right?
Doesn't vanilla extract taste fucking terrible?
Probably. Hey, but if it's Sunday and you can't get it from the liquor store is closed, man. Walmart's always open. Right. McCormick's Pure Vanilla Vodka, Pure Vanilla Extract is one of the most popular brands. Right. You fucked me up there. It has a 41% alcohol content, which makes it 82 proof. Squidpuck says that's some alcoholism there. Go ahead.
All right, kids. Lay off the Claritin cough and cold and move on to vanilla extract.
Exactly. Yeah. Fucking nobody robo trips anymore. You gotta go on the vanilla ride. Like,
what do you know about that
Tussin is so too early 2000s. Bazinga says, I had no idea vanilla extract even had alcohol. Squidpunk says, BRB going to Winco. Bazinga says,
the more you know.
Right. Bazinga says, now I'm going to see teenagers walking around my area drinking vanilla extract since this story came out. Thanks. And Spartan asks if they can craft medic flags with it. But it makes me think, could you make like a vanilla slushy or a vanilla slurpee out of these, and would that make it like a 35% alcohol slushy or whatever?
So
sipping on that scissor.
I mean, yeah, but it's still gonna taste like crap.
Right.
just add this to that vanilla vodka that tastes like ass.
Right.
Give a little extra actual vanilla flavor.
Kick it up a notch.
Bam! Spice it up a notch.
What were you gonna say, Tim?
Nothing. That was it.
This makes it.
That was it.
This makes me think that vanilla extract is now a legitimate thing you should be adding to White Russians.
I wonder if vanilla extract requires heat in order to not taste like.
Oh, that's a good point.
I'm sure 1 or 2 drops would be fine.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, that might be. I don't know if it's just the diluted form that then permeates throughout the entirety of like your cookie batch or whatever that gives it the quote unquote vanilla flavor, or if it's it needs to be activated by heat. I don't know enough about vanilla.
Inappropriate Bar Talk, welcome to the show. Inappropriate Bar Talk says, I worked with cooks in the past who would get a buzz by going and shooting extracts in the back. That's fucking rough.
Welcome to the cook life.
Right.
I went to college for culinary arts, and that is basically like half the people you find in kitchens. They're either they're trained to be there, or they have a couple felonies and can't get a job outside of the kitchen.
And you know what? I'll eat food from either one of them.
I'd rather go to a kitchen full of felons because they can make some good ass food. Just don't fuck with them. You leave a goddamn tip or they will fuck you.
You leave a tip or you find your car out front without any tires on it. Like, all right. So our next story is adorable and terrifying. At least 11 people in 8 states have become afflicted by salmonella that the Center for Disease Control says is likely linked to pet hedgehogs.
Aww.
So
adorably sad.
Right?
Are they eating hedgehogs?
The CDC has announced Friday that an epidemiologic and laboratory evidence indicates that contact with pet hedgehogs is the likely source of the outbreak. It noted 10 out of the 11 people who have been sickened with Salmonella typhimurium in the federal health agency that they had contact with hedgehogs before becoming ill. At least one person has been hospitalized in relation to the outbreak, but no deaths have been reported at this time. As of January 23rd, the states infected include Colorado, Maine, Minnesota, Mississippi, Missouri, Nebraska, Texas, and Wyoming. Hedgehogs can carry salmonella germs in their droppings while appearing healthy and clean.
Stop touching your pet poop.
All right. They
Wash
literally
your hands, kids, and don't lick your hedgehog.
exactly. There's just a weird.
All we got here in Washington and Oregon is measles. Damn it.
Yeah, exactly. Vaccinate your hedgehogs, everybody.
Yeah.
The CDC has also warned that you should not kiss or snuggle hedgehogs because they spread salmonella germs to your face and mouth and make you sick. While common suppliers of potentially infected hedgehogs have not been identified at this time, the CDC noted that these animals have a potential to infect people with salmonella regardless of where they are purchased. Salmonella infections can cause diarrhea, vomiting, fever, abdominal cramps, and the illnesses are more likely to be severe in elderly and infants, according to the CDC. So, damn it, Sonic.
Yeah.
Damn it, Sonic should have got a Knuckles.
Right.
Make people puke and poop.
Right. Bazinga says,
P.
thank you very much. My wife has been asking for a hedgehog, and I will be referencing this story as ammunition for not getting one.
You don't want to get a hedgehog. You're going to end up pooping and
Exactly. They are salmonella elementals.
You can't kiss them, okay?
Right. Squidbug says, is your hedgehog carrying salmonella? Come to Jerry's Hedgehog Cleaning Service. We'll steam that hog. The old steamed hog, you know? It's one of the best.
Yep.
All right. Our next story is one of terror. Absolute terror. So it's kind of hard to see this image because it's so dark. But what I want everybody to know, that this is
like the fuselage or the cockpit of a plane at night.
It is, but that's also an absolutely spider-webbed windshield.
Oh, windshield?
Yeah.
Nice.
A recent lawsuit filed by United Passengers claimed that the airline covered up a traumatic incident last year that nearly resulted in the entirety of loss of life upon the airplane. Within a few hours of the journey, the flight from Chicago to London made an emergency landing in Goose Bay, Canada, after the plane's windshield shattered. United blamed it on a bird strike. However, according to the suit, the passenger filing the lawsuit alleges that the pilots told everyone, or at least told him himself, that there's nothing alive at 40,000 feet in the air.
Nope.
And bird strikes do happen at much lower trajectories than that. But the passengers...
Also,
So I'm
generally
something from SC. Tim?
bird strikes also generally never crack a windshield. They're made to withstand bird strikes.
Right, exactly.
I've hit a bird in my car.
Right.
Didn't break my window.
Yeah, exactly.
It was terrifying. Hit a bat too. That was super terrifying.
Passengers aboard Flight 931 were required to stay on the aircraft for a total of 8 hours until a replacement plane arrived to take them to their final destination. Theodore Lia, a passenger on the flight, filed the lawsuit on Wednesday and claims that United has been lying to everyone about what happened. The lawsuit states that the flight's co-pilot heroically acted as the last layer of protection when the windshield broke before the emergency landing. It also states that a United mechanic may have over-torqued the bolts on the cockpit window. As the plane, a Boeing 767, is equipped with 3 layers of reinforced glass. Courageously, Flight 931's co-pilot quickly pushed his weight against what was left of the third and last layer of the cockpit window, which may have prevented the entire window from breaking during the descent into Goose Bay. Had the last layer disappeared, both pilots would have likely been sucked out of the plane. And
Nice.
yeah, and Flight 931's passengers would have been doomed. The lawsuit also alleges that the passengers and crew that were fortunate that the incident didn't occur while the flight was over the Atlantic Ocean, since it would have made it likely fatal emergency water landing. The pilots allegedly explained to Lia that everyone on board would have either died from the impact or would have had quickly frozen to death in the cold ocean. All passengers aboard that plane were given a $500. Oh, sorry. The word allegedly is important here. Allegedly given, because it is a lawsuit at this point. So the word allegedly gets thrown around. They were given a $500 voucher from United in exchange for a release of liability form that they signed. Yeah. Leah did not accept. Instead, Leah, a CEO who has flown over 1 million miles with United, is now attempting to be compensated for bodily injury and severe emotional distress because he now has a fear of flying, which could jeopardize his career.
That's dumb.
Yep.
Yeah.
Make that money for nothing, buddy. Make that money for nothing.
Yeah.
I've been on some sketchy flights. I grew up with my parents working for an airline.
Right.
I've gone on tons of flights. We've landed sideways a few times, coming in and then jerk forward on
and frankly, they told them, hey, windshield's cracked, we're landing.
Right.
It's not like they quote unquote pulled the wool over their eyes. It might be right. Maybe a mechanic over torqued the bolt and then put undue stress on it, so when a bird actually did hit it,
right,
it was already under stress, so therefore more force being applied, shatter the windshield. But it's like they did exactly what they should have done when windshield cracks, which is into that shit.
I'm saying it's a new SCP. Everybody in chat agrees.
Right?
I don't know what that means.
Safety control protocol.
I'm going to link you so much stuff for SCPs.
Oh, Christ. Why did I say anything?
Right? I hope you like spooky things.
F1 Kill, welcome to the show. All right. How about you, Tim? You got any airplane stories?
Nope. I've been on some airplanes.
Right.
They went in the sky.
Nothing,
came back down.
Nothing fun or interesting happened. That's perfectly fine. Right. Yeah. What about you, EXP? You got anything? Any crazy?
I got tons of airplane stories.
Right.
Tons of them.
You got
some I like the people who actually pull the Mile High Club.
Right.
Those are some good ones. I ain't no snitch.
Right.
You get you some. You know, and that one that we were landing sideways, the tailwind was super crazy. So we're coming in like this. We start going like this while coming in. I got the window seat and I'm just drinking my rum and coke, just whatever. The guy next to me is like, oh shit.
Right.
Leaning back in his seat, he's got his tray table up, and I'm just like, no, we're cool. I've been in worse. But my favorite is when we were on a flight over to London, and the flight attendants found out from the captain and stuff that my parents worked for the airlines. We're all the fucking way in the back. All the way
did you all get bumped?
Right?
Did y'all get bumped
we all got bumped up to first class.
Nice.
Right into first class. They brought up all the nice, ice cream and all that other stuff. And I got to watch the first or second Harry Potter, the Goblet of Fire, whichever one that was.
Nice.
And I watched it, and I was like, crap, this is a long flight. Look through the rest of the movies that are all super adulty movies, or just dumb rom-coms and stuff. And I'm like, all right, guess we're watching Harry Potter again, but this time in German.
Yes.
Harry Potter. Sounds like he'd mess you up.
Patronum.
Exactly. But Taiwanese, everyone sounds like they're not gonna make it. no one's doing well in there. Everyone's
make more friends that work for airlines.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Hey, I'm planning on going on a trip to New Zealand this weekend. Want to come?
I flew to Reno for $15 once.
Wow.
Nice.
I was able to talk my way into getting a red-eye flight ticket back to it was if a seat opens up. I was not guaranteed an actual ticket. I had to show up, wait for the plane. Right. If I didn't get a seat, bye. If I got a seat, they're like, okay, we'll charge you here at the little kiosk. I go up to pay. They charge me $15. I'm like, really?
Slim, welcome to the stream.
Like, I'm not slipping you money right now at this kiosk. Like,
That's
swipe
exactly
my
what
card.
happened.
Right.
That was a bribe.
Probably.
The best story I've got for airplane stories is the first time I'm coming back on a plane. I didn't fly until I was 26, something like that. I mean, I didn't fly until I was like 28. Yeah. But
Missing out.
yeah, I mean, poor family.
Was this Ireland?
No, this was my first time flying down to LA. But on the way back,
okay.
I'm coming back with a bunch of coworkers, and our flight gets oversold, right? And they start asking for people to willingly accept going on a later plane or whatever for a couple $100 on a voucher or whatever. And I was
that a couple times,
right? I was just like, what? This sounds good. I don't have any kids. Kathy will understand. It's time to go. And I'm like, I'll take it. And then they gave me a voucher, and they're like, okay, we're going to put you up in a hotel overnight. And I was like, this is going to be fucking awesome. Right. So my coworkers are all waiting to get home. Like, every single one of them has a family to get home to and shit like that.
Oh, did the flight get delayed super, super long?
It got delayed super, super long. They had they had a spot open up on a plane that was on the 1 hour after the one would have left that I was originally on. The only spot they had open was a first class seat, and they put me on it because so as I'm boarding, I see all my coworkers who were all like, dude, don't take it. It's not worth it. Like, you should, like, I wouldn't do it if I was you. I'm like waving the entire time as I go past. They all end up having to stay overnight and can't come home till the next day. Like, everybody on the plane that we were on, because that whole plane got super delayed. But
so here's a question: did you still get the voucher?
Yeah.
So you got first class.
Yeah.
Flew like an hour later than normal.
And $250 with United Airlines. Yeah.
So good.
This is a win-win.
Which I used to upgrade one of my
coworkers the next day at work.
They never wanted to talk about it from that time. Like, they just never wanted to talk about it.
Real bit.
Oh, Slim says, I had a similar experience leaving Texas. I got a $37 first class ticket across the country because it was a red eye. Awesome. And Witless says, only time I ever flew was to Hawaii, and both flights I passed out on takeoff and slept the entire trip. That's lucky. That's lucky. I constantly cannot get it out of my head that I am on an aluminum tube moving over 500 miles an hour through the sky. Like, I just
I'm excited by it.
Well, exactly.
I love it.
I'm sitting around looking at everybody.
I'm just sitting there going like, this is magic.
Exactly. I'm looking at people on the plane going,
he's got it right.
Right. I'm looking at people on the plane like, how are you bored? This is magic. What are we doing?
Right?
All right.
Like,
so
we are in something driven by explosions and jet power.
Right.
Like, what's not amazing about this?
Oh.
Didn't fall asleep. He blacked out.
Oh, okay. That's much different.
That's not awesome.
Yeah. Oh, Slim says, I just can't stand the noise. Well, understandable. All right.
Tones.
I have something important to show you guys. This next thing that we're going to take a look at is a commercial. Let it load.
You tear your muscles to become stronger. You learn to fall to become a dancer. You callous your fingers to become a musician. Why is your immune system any different? Introducing a tissue powered by the human body for the human body. This flu season, keep your immune system feeling like your immune system.
Is it just one tissue in that box?
What the fuck?
I got some really nice puffs tissues with
Right.
lotion. They're fucking great.
Would you go as far as using pre-infected tissues, complete with sneezes already in them, in order to upgrade your immune system?
How do I get this job?
Exactly.
I want wanna get on this gold mine right here.
Exactly. For $80, a Copenhagen-based company called Viev will send you a box of used tissues that contains all the stuff left over after a sick person has sneezed in a stylish petri dish.
I can't tell if Tim's frozen.
Nope,
or
he's just
No.
his face is just stuck like that. You just take them out and wipe your nose to transfer the germs to yourself. The company suggests that a tissue that's already been used may help you fend off illnesses.
I got an idea. I'm going to get a free trip to Copenhagen.
Oh, yeah?
Because if they're going to spend $80 for a used tissue, how much are they going to pay for the source?
Right, exactly.
Fly me to Copenhagen. I'll sneeze on you.
Right? It's already...
Well, why don't you just do live action? You know, hire me to sneeze on.
Exactly. Just to be like, I'm here for the service. All right, now lay down.
Hey, I'm sick. I'm gonna sneeze on you and wipe my nose.
Would that
on
make
your
you a
sleeve.
prostitute?
No. It's a medical service.
Because you're selling yourself for money.
No, I'm selling my bodily fluids, not my other fluids.
This travels down a slippery slope because just aren't prostitutes just selling bodily fluids?
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't know how much you'll get for $80, but it's more than a napkin.
Witless says, honestly, I was expecting a tissue infused with human skin or some shit. Every gross thing that you post makes me think gross, but not as gross as I was expecting.
By the way, I would like to point out, you don't fall so you can learn to dance. You can learn to dance without ever falling. You fall because you lose your balance or get tripped, and it hurts.
Also, you don't have to have callous fingers to learn to play an instrument.
True.
Right.
And what was the first one?
You tear your muscles to train your body.
So that's true.
Yeah, that's really bad. You shouldn't tear your muscles because that can actually lead to permanent injury.
Well, technically they're micro tears. That's how you get more muscle.
Right.
It's your body repairing itself. So I mean, this is technically true.
As long as you keep it on the micro level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spartan says feces has more microbes. We should use shitty toilet paper instead. God damn.
Well, you can get a shit with positive bacteria in it.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I use a handkerchief instead of tissues, like it's sitting on my desk. But that's my own funk, and I wash it like I get a new one every day, and then I get washed.
Right.
Also, handkerchiefs should come back. Just saying.
I agree, but I'm also not paying $80 for them, nor am I paying $80.
You should sell your handkerchiefs.
Brilliant.
So used handkerchief
that's
business.
a step up from a napkin.
Right.
$160 right here.
Right.
Let me go ahead and prove it.
Right. The company says that the already been used tissues work hand in hand with the human body to keep your immune system feeling like your immune system. And if you can believe it, this company has already sold out its available product.
What the fuck?
Right.
Did they run infomercials for elderly people?
Dude, I think that
Like, with
I
the
bet
jewelry and stuff.
this is all over the anti-vax community. Straight up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I gotta find
People
some
being
way.
sold stupid, retarded bullshit because they're stupid and retarded.
Yep.
You know what? Good. Let them buy them all. Let them die from shit that they don't have vaccines for, and the species will get stronger.
Right, exactly. You just go to Jenny McCarthy's
Well,
house.
except for
There's
the
just
parents who've
crates
been
of this shit in front of her. Weightless Wonder says it's natural. Bazinga says, so buy the $80 Petri dish and use it to get someone else sick. Seems like a much more useful idea for $80. And Squidpoke says $80 for a used tissue, and people say capitalism is bad.
You know what else is natural? The bubonic plague. Ebola. Poisonous snakes.
Ebola.
Ebola.
I was resisting making that.
Right?
Because of how hard it was for me.
Ebola.
For the queen. All right.
My brothers.
Queen.
All right.
Queen.
For our next story, we head straight to the best Korea, North Korea.
Oh, crazy Uncle Korea.
Right? North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un has commanded every citizen to turn over an impossible 200 pounds of human manure for every for fertilizer a day.
Why?
A day?
A
Just go in
day!
a river. It's cool.
They're in order to revitalize the communist country's struggling agriculture, according to reports.
So you should never use human manure on crops. This is proven. This is why they have parasites.
Right?
God.
Well, they're called Crazy Uncle Korea for a reason.
The country's leader first made agricultural the forefront of the economic recovery during its New Year's address. This led to the mass mobilization of the population to fulfill the government's wishes and ensure that human manure quotas are met. If people do not meet their daily quota, they have to supply over 600 pounds of compost or livestock manure, according to Radio Free Asia. The entire population has been mobilized to produce manure as the first major task of the year.
How much? So I know that you don't have the answer to these questions, but these are more rhetorical.
Right.
They need
How
to be
much-
asked.
How much arable land do they have under cultivation requiring 200 pounds per person? Are they looking for like a 15-foot depth on their...
Sorry. Fucking got me. 15 feet deep. Fucking human poop.
Because you have to understand, 200 pounds. So I weigh 240 pounds this
Mm-hmm.
stage. Most of that is water weight.
Right.
Human body's 70 to 80% water, depending on which human body you're looking at.
Mhm.
Poop we're gonna get way into this. Poop is semi-aerated.
Right.
It's got air pockets in it. It's not actually a ton of water. I mean, it's got a lot of water, but not 70% water, which means
I mean, unless you go to
200
Taco Bell.
200 pounds of human feces is going to occupy more volume than the human body.
Right. So here's what I'm
Try
thinking,
harder.
right? I'm thinking that at some point when translating from a secretive government where it's hard to get information on what was actually said to Radio Free Asia to English, somewhere someone swapped it from metric to imperial and then to metric again and then to imperial, so that the numbers swapped, right? Because if this was
this has to be a type of somewhere.
right, if
It's
this
not
was like
humanly possible.
right, I mean 200 grams
Well,
is
that's
still
the
even
software.
rough, right? Like
Yeah.
200 grams of human poop per person per day is really rough.
Challenge accepted.
Spartan says, how much do you need to eat to shit 200 pounds a day? And the answer is more than you can, right? Like, I don't think your body would be able to transform food that fast. Like, you'd literally have to have a pipe of oatmeal coming into you because that's about the only thing that's going to transform that fast. And you're going to need that
And
fiber.
I was sick pretty bad
Quote,
not too
unquote.
long ago, where it was every 2 hours on the dot of eating.
Right.
So I mean, as long as I just had enough intake, it'd be an equal output.
Right. But aren't they like
Just
starving?
have to eat 200 pounds and then it'll just cycle through. Meet my
Right.
quota real quick. Also
That
die in the
being said,
process.
Your average, so on average, a 160-pound person produces just under a pound per day.
Right.
On a standard diet. That's a lot of
Yeah. You need to
that's a lot
produce
of food you gotta eat.
Well, remember,
You gotta eat 200 times what you normally eat, over 200 times what you normally eat.
obviously,
Time to
the
go get
Korean,
some dim sum.
right?
Yep.
So I'm wondering if this is also potentially a like a North Korean what is that, propaganda attempt where everybody thinks that this is possibly a like, since he doesn't have any buttholes, all of the North Korean people are nothing but buttholes or something like that,
God.
Witless asks, what was I thinking, kilograms? I was thinking grams, because if it was a reasonable request, right, then 200 grams is fine, right? Like if you had to produce 200 grams, you'd be all right. Or 600 grams of compost per day that you were able to hand in or whatever.
How they deliver?
I'm assuming poop trucks.
So a little bit of interesting trivia for you.
Either
Based
that or
on the
the
average U.S. life
Yep.
expectancy of 76 years, if you are a man, will produce roughly 24,000 pounds of poop in your life.
nice.
I feel like I've met that quota.
Mm-hmm.
Women who have a later life expectancy of 81 will produce about 26,000 pounds.
Women don't poop. That's a lie.
A lifetime of a woman's poop weighs about as much as 3 adult male hippos.
Huh.
It's a lot of poop.
There's some shitty hippos.
I'm also really glad I pretend to do Renaissance things and pirate stuff.
Right.
Because, man, quality of life is pretty good now. But
Right.
shit streets sound horrible. Oh, God.
So
I want to know what's about to happen.
Right. Lincoln, Nebraska's bomb squad robots found a odd package in front of the Scottish Rite Temple near Nebraska's capital on Wednesday afternoon, a fire department spokeswoman has said. At around 3:30 p.m., a state employee near the temple at 332 Centennial Mall saw a man put down a package and run away. Lincoln Fire and Rescue paramedic firefighters Nancy Christ has said. The fire engines blocked off the area, and 2 bomb robots were brought over to inspect the package. Using X-ray technology, the inspectors saw inside the package, then figured out that it was no longer suspicious, and inside, in fact, there was a live, unharmed pigeon.
What?
Okay. I'm glad they didn't blow it up.
The incident underscored the importance of reporting odd or suspicious happenings to police, Christ has said. So,
That's pretty odd.
I'm wondering, is this the new Bird Box prank? And is that hilarious?
God.
Where you just get a bird, you put it in a box, and then you get the bomb squad called on you.
Better than the driving challenge.
Right?
Right?
Significantly less people are hurt in this one, right? Squid Punk says high-level trolling, right? Oh, and on that last story, I was going to say something, but I totally forgot about it. It is either they use poop trucks or the mail system just got significantly worse.
Oh.
Did you get the title of Poopsmith?
When you become the man who crafts the high-quality human fertilizers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am a Poopsmith for North Korea.
North Korean poopsmiths. Ancient levels of power. Out of the last 3 stories, which one did you find the least disappointing experience over Zero?
Probably the box one.
The bird.
Pretty good.
How about you, Tim? Which of those 3 stories was the least disappointing?
So story 1 was
The napkins.
retarded Kleenexes.
Yeah, the Kleenexes.
And story 2 is retarded North Korea.
Right?
Yeah. Bird Box.
Right. You've done it,
Least
Bird Box
disappointing.
prank. You've managed to be the least disappointing out of a story involving getting yourself sick with Kleenexes and collecting 17 feet deep poop. Like, all right.
Just the fact North Korea has to collect human feces to try and stimulate their their agriculture, that's dumb.
Right. Spartan says, having worked wildlife rehab, pigeons can be nasty.
Yes.
You open up
Yes,
the
they can.
firefighters, they're like, we gotta save this bird. Rah! Shit.
Actually, when I was homeless in Seattle, I had a favorite pigeon that would always go to Westlake. He had a dart straight through his head. Someone hit him with a blow dart.
Oh,
Some
wow.
of the pigeons didn't like him, but I liked the little dude. I'd chuck him a little whatever I was eating. I mean, like, if you can survive getting pegged in the fucking head by something that skewers you,
Right.
like,
You a badass,
Yeah.
right?
savage.
Well, that's like Max the Headless Chicken.
Right. That
Yeah.
pigeon needs an upgrade to like a pirate's fucking shoulder, right? Like that's a pigeon fit for John Paul Jones. Like
JPJ!
For those of you who do not know what we're talking about, on Thursday, make sure to join us for our history show. It is not exactly what we're doing here, but on Thursdays we cover interesting and weird history from history. And we are covering the Emu Wars in Australia on this Wednesday. So make sure to come drop by for that. It's super fun. All right. Our next story.
That's not a bear.
Well, you can't prove that, as this story will show. Casey Hathaway was found on Thursday, cold but alive, in a mess of vines and thorns in Craven County, North Carolina. The 3-year-old has volunteered one noteworthy detail about his days lost in the woods. He'd been missing for 3 days. And that fact was that a bear kept him company. He made a comment about having a friend while he was in the woods, and his friend was a bear. In the emergency room, he started talking about what happened and in the woods, and he said that he had a friend that was a bear that was with him during the woods. McFadden, who is McFadden? Where did McFadden come from? This article is bad. It doesn't say who McFadden is. Anyway, McFadden has said that there are bears in the woods of Craven County, but there's no evidence to prove that one was with Casey at all. All that matters, McFadden said, is that something was there to comfort him during the 3 days. To catch you up really quick, experience, this kid was lost for 3 days in the woods, and he's only 3 years old, but when they found him, he was relatively unharmed, and said that he had been kept company for 3 days in the woods by a bear.
I believe him.
Yeah. We are very pleased that he had the type of comfort. There's a very brutal conditions out there. The first night it dropped to 20 degrees. The second night there was 2 inches of rain.
Oof.
The 3-year-old boy is going to undergo forensic psychological exams this week, as McFadden has said. But for now, authorities are giving Casey time to recover and settle in with his family. He was not interviewed yet about what happened. He's a 3-year-old little boy. Until we do a forensic exam, we won't have a definite idea yet. And Casey was playing with his 2 other relatives in his great-grandmother's backyard on Tuesday, but didn't come inside when the others did. His family searched for him for 45 minutes before...
45 minutes.
One pube. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate that. Those are not our usual alerts for this stream, but apparently Stream Elements decided to change all my alerts to the Thursday show, so I got to fix that at some point, but, it's fine.
Yeah.
Squid Punk
So
says
I
when
do
you...
have one.
Go ahead.
important question that I need to ask this kid.
Right.
Which is the porridge too hot, too cold, or just right?
Correct. Search and rescue teams from across the state immediately came together to brave the treacherous terrain and low temperatures in hopes of finding Casey. The FBI, NCIS, dozens of volunteers, and the U.S. Marine Corps also joined in the effort to find the boy. Authorities employed helicopters, drones, and canine units. Craven County Emergency Management Director Stanley Kite has said divers also assessed nearby ponds. Casey, who authorities said weighs 25 pounds and was 2 feet 4 inches tall, was stuck out in conditions so bad that volunteers turned away from the search. Hughes said that his team was concerned about the extreme cold as the temperatures dipped near freezing, but against all odds, they found him. It was folks giving us tips and leads. We hit every one of them, and it immediately paid off. On day 3, a tip led to the search team to a spot where they were able to hear the 3-year-old calling out for his mother, and he was found 40 to 50 yards away from that point. And then, yeah, like it said, in the emergency room, when he was being investigated by medical professionals, he told everyone that it was okay because he had a bear friend that kept him company.
It was actually just a big gay guy.
Right.
Chaps.
What are you doing there, Sonny?
Also, the kid's gotta be of, like, some Scandinavian or Russian descent.
Right.
Like, just savages' natures, like, I hung out with a bear.
Right. He's totally fine with it. Like, no big deal.
Like, not bothered by the cold at all.
Right.
Like, it was cold, whatever. The bear used me for one. It lived.
Llama says it was totally Bigfoot, which is very possible.
Ooh, snap.
Where was this? I will definitely be looking into whether or not North Carolina has Bigfoot sightings. So we'll be looking. We'll figure that out. All right.
I'm pretty sure.
It is time to ban crime, everyone. According to the police in Noblesville. Due to cold.
How noble of them.
Right. It is too cold to do illegal things, according to the new rule by the Noblesville Police Department. Their Facebook post wrote, due to extreme cold temperatures for the next few days, all crime and illegal activities in Noblesville and the surrounding areas will be prohibited until further notice.
Well, I can't wait until further notice is up because the purge is ready.
Right? If you fail to comply with this notice, there is a possibility of a fine or even jail time. We wanted to get this information out as quickly to the public as possible, so we are utilizing social media. However, once the weather improves, we will be sending out a formal notice via certified mail when illegal activities can resume. If you do not receive your formal notice, you cannot participate in criminal endeavors. We appreciate your cooperation during this extreme weather. Just a sec. Hashtag let's really see if this works. Hashtag seriously bundle up. Hashtag bring your pets inside too.
I like the hashtags.
Right.
They made it up.
The hashtags at the end pointed out that this is just a big giant joke.
Right.
Really hope this works.
This is just a way to let you know it's gonna get cold.
Also, like, I'd follow that if it's
right?
shitty and cold out like that.
Right.
Like, nah, not today.
This is just the cops don't want to go out in the cold.
Squidbug says, well, there's the problem. They didn't make crime illegal. And Llama Boosh says, trolliest cops ever.
Yeah, you're telling me that if they do something that breaks the law while it's cold, they might be hit with a fine or jail time?
Right.
Wow, that's so much worse than normal.
I think the extra fine, like, if they could legally get away with the extra fine,
right,
like,
you made me come out in the cold, you paying another $50.
That's the best.
How dare you make me go out in the snow, you bastard.
I'm freaking cold out here. Fine. Extra $100.
I'm too old for this shit.
Exactly. All right. And now it's time to commit a crime. So
Yay!
the first rule of robbing a bank in 2019 is apparently not using your credit card to rent the getaway vehicle.
Yep, that'll do it.
Yep.
Mistakes are made.
Some people watching this cast will have been to certain cities where you can use your credit card to rent public transportation electric scooters.
I did this at TwitchCon. It was genius.
Yes. Yeah, riding those things around was super fun. But according to an Austin, Texas newspaper, the Austin American-Statesman, 19-year-old Luca Mangariano was charged yesterday with robbery by threat after showing up to a BBVA bank on Austin's 6th Street and demanded money from a note that he handed to the teller. He was caught, however, because he allegedly used an Uber-owned Jump electric scooter as his means of escape after getting away with the cash.
He got away?
Yeah, well, I mean,
not.
No, they got him afterwards.
Well, I mean, you got out of the bank. Like, That's better than most.
Exactly. Like he was in the clear until he rented a getaway car.
I'm wondering if that's actually the case. Experience. I wonder if more people get out and we just don't hear about it because government doesn't want us to know how easy it is to rob a bank.
Tim, are you talking some revolutionary shit here? Like, what if it's way easier to actually rob a bank than you think, guys? I think that's some Florida talk there.
Or I'm trying to get the stupid people to go rob banks so that they'll get locked up.
Nice reverse psychology there, talking yourself out of robbing a bank.
Right?
I'm not corrupt.
You lie.
Squidpunk says, does this count as my certified letter? No, I don't think so. Maybe not. But the Statesman reported that Austin police contacted Uber about the robbery, and the company handed over Mangariano's name, address, and credit card number in relation to his renting of a jump scooter seen in the video footage. The scooter that the police had reason to believe featured the suspect. Police were able to further verify Mangariano's connection by tracing the scooter from the scene of the crime to outside his apartment, as well as using data from his cell phone provider that indicated that he was in the area during the time of the robbery. So, while not the smartest move, the scooter-related arrest illustrates a couple of important points about privately owned transit options. First and foremost, don't commit a crime when then verify your location, name, and credit card number with an easy-to-access timestamp attached to it. Secondly, perhaps more applicable to more regular people, a lot of your public comings and goings are being tracked when you access these private companies' services with accounts only usable with credit cards. So it's something to keep in mind if you value maximum privacy.
Remember, taxes accept cash.
Right?
Especially large sums.
Right, exactly. Just drive and don't ask questions. Of course, Uber
$1,000 at him.
Right. Of course, Uber only complied with this case because it's the law enforcement matter with ample video footage and footage to back up the request. But the scooter use only continues to increase, and companies pour more money into new ventures to try and loosen city restrictions around adding ever more vehicles to the pool. It's likely Uber, Bird, and other companies, I don't know what the fuck Bird is, but other companies are going to have a lot more information about how people get around. You dead to me.
I understand. Fair enough.
Right? All right, Tim, have you ever escaped in an unusual way? I don't care what the context is. Just escaped from something in an unusual way.
Nothing immediately comes to mind.
Okay.
All I can really think of is running away from house parties by jumping over fences.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not actually that unusual.
I have one of those. Didn't work out too well. It was great.
Yeah, nothing immediately comes to mind.
How about you, Experience? What do you got?
I'll share one from Afterworlds.
Okay.
Where me and this random guy was scavenging at one of the stations. I was like, hey, I pulled 4 cards instead of 3. Mind if I dib in for the extra card? He's like, sure, why not? Get in there, and then 5 people start walking down the trail, and I'm like, hey, what's up? Where they immediately all hunch down like they're gonna like sprint, start screeching and like running right at us. So we're like, oh, we gotta go. Like, that zombie's like, we're out of here. So we're running down these trails in the middle of pitch black. Like, we don't have our lights on, so we're basically using our only night vision.
Right.
And I haven't had this happen in a long time, but this dude starts breaking away from me. And I'm like, oh shit, I'm the fat friend. Uh-oh. This is going well. Round around a corner, and I'm like, screw this. Jump directly to my right into a bush.
Right.
Bad idea. That hurt. Wasn't a sticker bush though, so we good. All of them run right by.
Bush addict. I go through bushes all the time, and it's fine.
Yeah, but don't jump into them at full sprint.
No, I do that too.
Okay. Bad idea. They all run past me, and it's all good until like one of them like lurks back and just stares into the bush. I'm like, it's dark. They can't see me. Until all 5 of them come back into the front of the bush. I try and unload into them. They're like, nah, like, there's enough of us. I'm like, I'm out. Nah, this is terrifying. We're good. Get out of the bush, and I'm just like bleeding all over. The only Band-Aid on site at Ops because they brought the wrong med kit and had to go to town the next morning.
Yep. For those of you who do not know what we're talking about, or Spartan's talking about, or Witless is talking about, this is a live-action role-playing game that we all attend. It's intense, and I'll have videos for you guys at some point to take a look at if you're ever interested in seeing what the hell we're talking about.
It's great.
But with that, by time, we need to get going into the next section because I have
onwards
extra Florida Man today. I've got a few extra stories here. Here we go. This one has you're not gonna. I think you're gonna get 8 chances to get your Florida Man bingo. So there is your card in the chat. Anybody who wants to play along, if you get a bingo and care to send me a screenshot on SkepTalk_live at SkepTalk_live on Twitter, you can earn some stream currency, which allows you to play sounds during the show. With the booze, the laughter, all that type of stuff. It's a fun way to interact, and all of it's available like that. Perfect.
Got you.
Right. All right. So make sure to fill in your Florida. That's free for everybody. Witless Wonder says that Skep Talk Late episode number 11 should be up in about 20 minutes, which is fantastic.
Woo.
On YouTube. That is the interview show that we do on Wednesdays. So, all right. Spartan says, if this happens to flash in their eyes, I swear it's totally an accident and not a violation of rule number 1. Oh, with the flashlight. Who's chasing me? Gotcha. All right. Our first story tonight. A Florida man's failed attempt to rob a convenience store last week was an effort to prove to his mother that he's independent and can take care of himself.
Did great.
According to a Marion County Sheriff's Office, Hassan Alexander Campbell was arrested after an attempt to rob a Circle K. After the clerk refused to surrender the money to Campbell, the suspect was confronted by a separate customer inside of the convenience store, and a fight ensued. Authorities say that Campbell was able to flee from the store, but leading police on a brief vehicle pursuit before police were able to disable his vehicle in a neighboring county. Marion County Sheriff's Office say that in an arrest report, Campbell admitted to being a dick and said that he was trying to meet up with a relative to go hit up a strip club. Campbell was told that he was trying to figure himself out, and he allegedly tried to rob the store to prove to his mother that he was independent and can take care of himself. And that's all he had to say about that, quote, the police said in the report.
Nice. Nice.
He was charged with attempted robbery, battery, fleeing, and eluding, and was being held in the Sumter County Jail on $23,000 bail, perhaps until his mother can come get him out.
Perhaps.
So I was gonna ask why rampant stupidity isn't on these cards, and then remembered, oh yeah, Florida.
Yep, the middle one. Admitted to being a dick is a violation of Rule 1. Exactly. But no, it said he admitted to being a dick, and so he quoted, that was his words. Dick was his words.
I'm an undercover cop.
So, along the lines of Drake Dragonfire Shingledecker, a name I will never forget, we have...
That's my name, too.
We have Freedom Rider Zobrist, who was arrested on Monday outside of a Waffle House on Pensacola Boulevard after the restaurant manager said that she exposed herself and danced in the parking lot. The manager told deputies that Freedom Rider Zobrist arrived early that morning, and because of her behavior, he asked her to leave. But she soon returned around noon, cursing and threatening to get a gun and shoot the manager and everyone in the restaurant. Freedom Rider Zobrist then walked outside and pulled down her pants, exposing her sexual organs, and danced around the parking lot. The manager said that she then approached him and tried to grab his genitals. The manager said he managed to block her, and she licked him on both sides of his face. Witnesses on scene said that they were blocked in and couldn't leave because of her dancing in the roadway, and that she was being very loud and causing a disturbance. Freedom Rider Zobrist
Trying to give him the Cyril sneer.
Exactly. Freedom Rider Zobrist is charged with lewd and indecent exposure, disorderly conduct, battery, and assault. Squid Poke says methamphetamines is a hell of a drug.
Yep.
But yeah, no, I wouldn't want that anywhere near me. Good Lord.
Good Lord.
Right? She looks like the old Troma swamp thing. Jacksonville Sheriff Office is investigating another Florida woman who told authorities that she was shot after she performed a sexual act in exchange for $5 and some Pringles potato chips. Police.
Nice.
Back to Pringles.
Right, exactly.
Well,
Once you
they've been a
pop,
lot
you can't
lately.
stop.
Police say that the suspect ran off after the incident occurred outside of a gas station on Monday night. The woman was shot in the shoulder and immediately taken to a local hospital. Her injuries were not considered life-threatening. Investigators say that she agreed to perform a sex act with a man for a payment of $5 and a couple of Pringles potato chips. Following the act, the man...
A couple.
Yep, only a couple. Francolio says it might want to change the thumbnail. Yeah, unfortunately, the thumbnail for Wes wasn't able to make it today. But yeah, following the act,
Tim's substitute Wes.
Yep, Tim is substitute Wes today.
I am indeed.
Following the act, the man demanded that the
When
woman
you can't get West, you get the best.
Was the guy in the first story a minor? No, he was 23. Witless asks. Following the act, the man demanded the woman return the $5, and when she refused, he then shot her. Report right? He ran off, and the police did not have a suspect description. Jacksonville Sheriff's Office is currently investigating this case. Witless Wonder says there's unusual weapon and prostitute. I definitely get to say unusual, or I said prostitute, but not unusual weapon. That's just a gun. Like,
yeah, that's not unusual.
He wasn't beating her with the Pringles. All right. Squid Punks asked if she did this. I'm assuming she did get the Pringles. The second story counts as bodily horror. You got Swamp Thing grinding all over you, then licking both sides of your face.
I was just talking about this mugshot we're currently looking at.
Oh, yeah. A 75-year-old man was arrested Tuesday after deputies say that he had been selling pounds of marijuana on a daily basis. when searching for the home when serving a search warrant at the home of William Carlton Sr., deputies say they found more than a pound of marijuana, a 20-gauge shotgun, and more than $25,000 in cash inside of Carlton's bedroom. Deputies say they also found a large wooden barn on the property with another pound and a half of marijuana and pieces of distribution equipment inside. Because of the large amount of cash and marijuana on the property, deputies say that they believe Carlton had been selling pounds of marijuana on a daily basis. Carlton was arrested and charged with the intent to distribute, possession of ammunition by a convicted felon, and possession of paraphernalia.
On a side note,
Yep.
somebody's getting
They're coming.
Something's happening in my
you
neighborhood.
said body horror was a check mark, right?
Yes.
Bingo.
Excellent.
I needed weed and drug dealing.
Excellent. Not only was William Carlton Sr. a convicted felon in violation of the law, but possessing firearm ammunition, he was an even greater threat to our community from his illegal drugs activity. Oh, they never found the shotgun, just the ammo.
He was just throwing the ammo at him.
Yeah, apparently.
He was attaching them to
This story, man.
to arrows.
Best mailbox ever.
This story. This is so good.
Mailbox.
Right. So, as a random gift to his mother in Inglewood, Florida, resident Danny Duncan decided to give her a new mailbox, which also happened to be shaped like a huge dingle and carved from a single block of wood.
That's a dongle, not a
And
dingle.
then she put it up.
Right? I just told her that I had a surprise for her, Duncan told the news. I thought that I was getting a Harley or a car, and that's what I got, said his mother, Sue. In the same interview, Duncan told the station that his name was Gary Winthorpe, and so for some reason, and now because of that, every station is now calling him Gary Winthorpe. So far, most people seem to be okay with the 500-pound, 6.5-foot tall mailbox. Others, not so much. Some of the neighbors put real estate magazines in her mailbox to tell her to move and to give her some dirty looks.
That's not a mailbox. That's a mail stick.
Right? Willis Wonder says, America, I just need a minor perp. Excellent. Spartan says we're all on. Oh, wow. A mailbox. I can't believe that's not even in this article.
That's what I just went with.
Oh. I thought you just said a dingle. Or you said a dongle, XP. I missed that.
It was a dongle.
Right. Exactly. That's amazing. I can't believe this is just terrible journalism. I can't believe that this article writer missed out on the
step up their game.
Right.
Harder.
Yeah. All right. Deputies have said a man from South Florida who thought he stole a couple of opioid pills ended up stealing something different. The Pinellas County Sheriff's Office arrested 56-year-old Peter Hans Emery Jr. on a felony charge of petty theft. Investigators say that he was caught on camera opening up a victim's lockbox, taking a pill bottle, and dumping several pills into his hand before walking away. Authorities say that the pill bottle had the label on it that read hydrocodone acetaminophen, but the bottle actually contained Equate Gentle laxatives. The sheriff's office say... Sheriff's office say that Emery threw the pills away when he learned that they were not hydrocodone. So that means he definitely tried to freebase laxatives.
Right.
Yeah, he had the tinfoil and the lighter, and he was going to town on some laxatives. Emery pulled the pills out of the trash to show the deputies the evidence that he had removed them. Right.
So I'm guessing the owner, the person he stole from,
right,
was tired of their pills getting stolen. So as soon as so they basically laid a trap.
Exactly what Squid Puncture said. Sounds like someone got tired of their drugs getting stolen. Exactly.
Yeah.
And Felix Kaufman saw a crash site on the side of Interstate 95 in Florida. The 52-year-old stopped to lend a helping hand, and one of the people involved in the accident returned Kaufman's good deed by speeding off with his truck.
Oh!
Kaufman said it was a valuable lesson of the ills of the world today. You tend to try and help people and see if they need help, and if some people take advantage of that and take advantage of you. That's just the way society is these days. I'm not going to sit there and let him burn to death in a car. Police say that 27-year-old Zachary Searles crashed into another car on Monday night, and then his vehicle hit a tree and burst into flames. In body camera footage from the Volsea County Sheriff's Office, Kaufman described the moments leading up to the high-speed crash. He said, "The guy shoots me, by me at over 100 miles per hour. All of a sudden, I see lights shooting off sideways like this," and he made a gesture with his hands. I see the car, and this guy's standing out there going like this, and I'm assuming it's, I'm on fire. I stop, and I see this car in the woods on fire. Kaufman then went to check on the driver and soon made a startling discovery. "I turned around and did see that he's driving off in my damn truck," Kaufman said as he saw
damn
right.
truck.
Police say that they found the stolen truck outside of Cyril's house, which they located by running the tags on his burning car. Kaufman confirmed that he was the person who stole the truck, and Searles has a $6,000 bail and is in Volusia County Jail. He's charged with grand theft of a motor vehicle, leaving the scene of a crash with injuries, no valid driver's license, and resisting an officer without violence. Police identified a 47-year-old Matthew Lee Pack as the second driver involved in the crash. He suffered only minor injuries that were treated at Halifax Medical Center. Yeah. What an asshole.
Yeah.
Nice.
Like, what a real asshole. That seems like some shit. Like he was, I mean, maybe he thought he was in an action film and he really needed to get back on the road.
Right?
Yeah.
Or I don't know, maybe he was in severe shock and therefore, like, I don't know.
Right.
Real dumb and stupid.
Waitlist asks, "Damn it, where are the drunk children I need?" I mean, maybe they're in this last story. Last story.
Nope.
A man accused of masturbating while looking through a girl's bedroom window in Wellington was beaten up by the girl's father and arrested. Jeffrey Cassidy, 48, was arrested Monday on charge of lewd and lascivious exhibition. Cassidy's arrest photo shows him with a black eye and a cut on his lip. According to a Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office probable cause affidavit, the girl's father caught Cassidy crouched behind some bushes in the window with his hands in his pants. The father yelled at Cassidy, who ran away. But the father, identified as former NFL defensive back Tony Beckham, chased after Cassidy and tackled him to the ground. I couldn't believe it. I was like, is this for real? Right? I thought I was getting punked, Beckham told WPBF. Beckham's wife came outside and saw her husband holding Cassidy down and called 911. "I caught him in the apartment over there and we just had a good conversation," Beckham said. Or caught him at the apartment over there and we just had a good conversation, Beckham said.
Good conversation.
Right? When the deputy arrived, Cassidy and Beckham were fighting. According to the affidavit, Cassidy tried to run away, but he stumbled and fell down. The deputy then placed him in handcuffs. The girl told the deputy that she had just gotten out of the shower and was getting dressed when Cassidy was looking through the window. Cassidy was taken to Wellington Regional Medical Center to be treated for fractures in his face and eye. Cassidy denied looking in the window, claiming he was in the neighborhood because his car broke down and he was waiting for it to cool down.
In the bushes.
In the bushes. Beckham spent 5 seasons in the NFL as a cornerback for the Tennessee Titans and the Detroit Lions. Cassidy is being held at West Detention Center on a $1,500 bond. I put this one.
I bet you those cops were hyped to see him.
Right? They're like, "Wait a minute, are you a former defensive running back?" Like, they're like, Tell me you're Tony Beckham, former defensive running back for the Detroit Lions. Like,
Tony Beckham, I believe you were just having a conversation with this guy.
Exactly. How is your hand that you hurt in a completely unrelated situation? All right, everybody. The next thing that we're going to be doing.
Sign the back of my police badge with some of the blood that's pouring from your hand from that completely unrelated accident.
Exactly. We are going to be doing to end this show tonight. We're going to be taking a look at a couple of petitions trying to make some real change in the world. And tonight we actually have one that starts out at a very large number. I found an important one that is actually getting some traction that I wanted to show you guys. But to start off, we have our petition, just as always. If you'd like to help us discover the secrets of change.org and find out what the hell happens when you get to 100, here's the petition to figure that out. If you have a second, feel free to get that signed. Maybe we'll get that, we'll figure out what the hell happens at 100. The last time we tried this, we got to 90 like a week before they took it away from us. But
yep. Bastards.
The first petition that I would like to show to you today, trying to make real change in the world, is to make Shaggy a DLC character in Mortal Kombat 11.
Yes! I'm signing this.
This petition currently has 195,000 signatures.
Oh my god!
It was created less than 48 hours ago.
Wow.
I just watched the number increase by 7.
Mm-hmm.
That's so good.
The Woken News Network, wokennews.com, is taking the much-needed initiative of starting this petition to make Shaggy a DLC character for Mortal Kombat 11. We're calling on Warner Brothers Entertainment Interactive to give the fans the fighter they most certainly need. He'd only have to fight at like 10%. There's some of the reasons down here for signing are because we need to make Mortal Kombat great again. Shaggy's the creator of the universe. It's time he got recognition, and he deserves in a way better way to immortalize him as a DLC. I'm scared of what Shaggy will do if I don't sign this. I'm signing it because the world needs to know how powerful the Shagster is. Shaggy is life. Shaggy is a god because it's necessary on this game. All games need something fun. I love this game. Yep. I would buy the game specifically to play as Shaggy.
Same.
Right? So if you'd like to get into the game, Spartan MC says like zoinks. All right. Let's see. The next one that I've got here. What the hell? Why is it? Is this the next one? What the fuck? There's like 4 more past this. What happened? They go away?
The ews are back.
Wait, hold on. Oh, they errored out. Give me a second. I can fix this.
Rip.
Yep. It'll be okay. Give me just a second.
It'll never be okay again.
Shaggy broke it.
Right?
He's the most important.
He's too powerful.
This was only 1% of his power.
Exactly. Okay, give me just a second. It's got to close. We're gonna see something weird here for a second in the back here. I've ruined the mystique. They no longer think you're surrounded by anime girls.
This is actually just that's
the practical effect. Yeah, we're adding practical
effects. Do not pay
effects.
attention to the man behind the mirror.
Right.
I actually am surrounded by anime girls.
Exactly.
Little do you know there's hentai on the other screen.
I wouldn't doubt it. I'm a practical person. I understand.
Actually the stream. You're the cutest anime girl I know.
Well, I mean, understandable.
Oh, senpai. It's actually just Tim's Facebook. Matt.
He's getting ready. I just had to
I
recreate
don't
the
like
links.
the trend this conversation is going in.
Well, I mean, you don't have to like the trend. You just have to deal with it.
Just, know there's at least one person out there that's masturbated.
At
There's
least
at least
one.
one.
I
Probably
could have
yourself.
gone a long time without hearing that, and that would have been okay.
But I mean, could you really? It's life changing.
Sure could have.
Spartan says that the emus were attacking the stream. Well,
Those damn emus.
They are the ones that are very good at what they do. All right, our next one is for a petition to extinguish all human life. If you're into that kind of thing, there's a petition here now for what is going on? Why is it not pasting? Copy. Paste. What's going on here? Paste. Whoa, what is going on? It won't let me paste into the thing anymore.
Emus.
Yeah, this is some weird shit. Something wonky is going on, guys.
Illuminati.
Yeah.
Confirmed.
She has come back for us. There we go. It's done now. We're fixed. Okay, if you're interested in signing, so Giorno Giovanna started this petition to Barack Obama to get the extinction of all human life off the ground. 9 people have signed. The reason that they give behind this is someone farted in public. Seems pretty reasonable.
Why are they asking Barack Obama?
Because he's still the president.
Right. Exactly.
Several years it's just been a lie.
He's the Illuminati leader. Right?
Oh, I see.
I've seen several legitimately concerning concerning on how many people were all like, yeah, this makes a lot of sense. Documentaries made on YouTube about how Barack Obama is in charge of the shadow government that ruins everything. It's pretty messed up.
I'm just confused by Adam Sandler's there.
Yeah, I was gonna say that too.
Right?
I think if he made this.
He might have.
That'd be great. I'd sign it just for that fact.
All right. So here's one by Rowan Lepowski to Donald Trump and someone else that we must band together as one holy bill to rule the world. So they want to change the entire Earth's population's name to Bill.
So instead of human, it's Bill, or do I have to be a Bill?
No, yeah, you would be Bill the human, and all of us would be Bill the human. You don't want to be Bill?
No. I'd rather like my name.
If your name was
frankly,
Bill to start this... Oh, go ahead.
If he wants change to happen, he needs to make it happen himself first and not be Rowan.
That's a good point. Probably should have signed up as Bill and actually show some dedication.
Blasphemy.
Yeah.
Right?
Let's make a new petition to make Rowan change his name to Bill.
Apparently, my link thing wasn't working there.
Apparently,
Yeah.
Get a little apparently kid meme up right now.
Right, exactly. But yeah. So, the next petition that we're going to be taking a look at here is a petition to make top surgery be renamed to Teat Yeet. Vincent Witherell started a petition to President Donald J. Trump to it says, "Hello, I'm just a poor boy from a poor family and I have a wish. My wish is that the name of top surgery would change from top surgery to Teat Yeet. Teat Yeet is a much more playful name and not as intimidating as top surgery. Please sign my petition to change this. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk."
Nice finisher there.
Right?
I like it. I like it. Yeet.
Right? I don't know what was going on with that link there and why Nightbot isn't doing its fucking job, so I apologize to anybody who saw whatever was posted in those links.
Redacted.
Yeah, don't come into somebody else's channel and start throwing links around. It's fucking stupid. All right, all right, the next one here is the final petition that we have for tonight. Is we could really help somebody out here. This one is let me move my computer setup into the basement. Vob Saget made a petition to his parents. I'm assuming it's a he. My parents make me have my PC out in the open while my brothers get a desk and computer in his bedroom. Plus, they are really loud and annoying. Currently, I am upstairs, and moving to the basement would make it near silent. So we could really change this kid's life if we were just to force his parents.
Yeah. Kid just wants to fap in peace.
Right? This
Do
is
your thing, kid.
Exactly. This kid totally wants to just fap around him, I'm assuming, right?
Hey, you know.
Well, he just wants to be quiet while he faps. It's really loud when he faps up in the living room and they're watching TV.
Right? Do you think it would be honestly, do you think it
back in the day with AOL?
Wee-oot. Do you think it would be
Don't wake up, don't wake up.
So imagine we get this kid's signatures like way up, right? We get this kid's signatures just way out of control, right? And he goes and he's like, "Mom, look what I did."
Look what I did.
I've got a bunch
he'll get his computer taken away.
So his parents
Yeah, probably.
his parents are like, "Who are these people? Who are these 50 people who have signed this fucking Why are you bringing our personal laundry out onto the internet?"
I like the image too that he just...
Exactly.
Yeah.
I say it's an easy possibility that his mom is a Karen.
Yeah.
Damn.
She's got that I'm gonna talk to your manager haircut.
Exactly. Damn it, Karen. All right. So that is all that we've got for today. We're hitting to be right about 9 o'clock. Timing worked out perfectly. Remember to join us on Thursday when we're going to be
Gonna get
covering.
good.
Yep. It's a different type of show. It's not news. We don't. But we tell you a story and a narrative about the Emu versus Australia war. And if you want to know, right? If you want to see what the hell we're talking about, 9 o'clock p.m., 11 o'clock Eastern, for 2 hours, we will be talking about struggle to defeat the Emu armies. It's not news,
And
it's
there
old.
was a bloodbath.
That's fucking really good, Spartan. Like, that
is really good.
I'm gonna figure out something to do with that. But since we have the wrong thumbnail up, I'm still gonna put it up here. So once again, thank you very much, EXP, for joining us, and thank you very much, Tim, for joining us. Did you guys have a good time?
I did, as always.
As always.
I appreciate
I knew it was coming. GTO, Minnesota.
Right? All right, everybody, stick around for the pre-show. I'm gonna roll the outro. We'll see you guys all later.